Okay, so this is the vertical lines op art practice, often referred to as worm tunnels on the internet and in art education. So this is what the instruction sheet looks like. It's on your table. This is the worksheet we're using. Looks like this. You're going to be doing your vertical lines practice right here, right where it says vertical lines op art practice. Make sure your name is here. If you were here last class, you probably already have a practice over here that looks like this. Okay, converging lines. And now we're going to do the vertical lines. Here's mine that I started, and I've got some of the shading done. But let me show you how to do this from the very beginning. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to draw vertical wavy lines that go from the top and bottom. And you want to do, on this size paper, you want to do about 4. If you choose this for your background for your project that we're going to start after spring break, then you might want to do more lines because your paper will be much bigger. You'll just decide that when you start working on it. Okay, so I'm going to do 4 wavy lines starting from the top and going all the way to the bottom. You don't want to make them all the same. You want to make sure there's some variety with the shape of your lines. So now I'm going to have 5 tunnels. This is going to worm tunnels. So this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now near the middle, I need to put another wavy line near the middle, but this one's going to be horizontal instead of vertical. Okay, just something like that. Nothing too crazy. Now I'm going to start with my little lines that give it the illusion of 3 dimension. And I'm going to do this center tunnel first. And it's similar to the last one that we did. This one, it's just in a different shape, different form. So instead of the forms converging into the middle, like going to the point in the center, they're going to be like wormy type shapes going from top to bottom. Okay, so starting at this center line, I'm going to make a series of stripes. The first one is going to be almost straight. And then as I go farther away from the middle and closer to the top, they're going to get more curvy. And the closer to the top, the curvier they become. Now I'm going to do the bottom. So I'm going to start out with a pretty much straight. And then I'm going to keep adding my stripes. The farther away from the top, the curvier the lines get. And that helps give the illusion of 3 dimensions. I'm going to do the one next door as well. And on this one, your lines can line up if you want. Like I could have this one match with this, and this one match with this, and this one match with this. But you don't have to do that. And I'm going to not do that in this demonstration. So, okay, so my first one is going to be almost straight. And then a little bit of a curve, a little bit more of a curve. The lines just keep getting curvier as I get closer to the top of the paper. And then below the center line, almost straight, a little bit curvier, curvier still. And they keep getting more and more curvy as they get towards the bottom of the paper. Okay, so those are my first 2 tubes, and you would do that with all the rest of them. And you can make your stripes as narrow or as wide as you want, and you can make each one different if you want. Skinnier stripes is more work with the shading. So if you don't like shading, you might want to make your stripes a little bit thicker. So that's the basic idea of how it works. Now I'm going to show you how to do the shading. So on this one I already started, and it's really the same idea as when we shaded these. Okay, so you can do it with Sharpie or with pencil. If you want to try color, you can as well. It's all going to be the exact same concept of darker at the edges, then it gets progressively lighter as it goes towards the middle, and in the middle there's a highlight, and that makes it look three-dimensional, makes it look like it's rounded out, like a bumped, okay? So I have a dark light pattern with my stripes. Hopefully you can already see it. So dark, light, dark, light, dark. So then this stripe is gonna be light. So to shade, I'm using the side of my pencil and not the point. So I'm just gonna start with medium pressure here on the sides. And then I'm barely pressing down at all. And then in the middle, I'm just gonna leave a little gap for a white space. And then I'm gonna come back with some more super light pressure. And then back to the medium pressure at the edge. So what you want is 3 different values. When we're talking about art, a value is how dark or light a surface is. So this stripe has darker values because it's the dark stripe, and this stripe has lighter values because it's the light stripe in our alternating pattern. However, it's still darker at the corner, gets a little bit lighter, it's very light in the middle, and then it gets a little darker again, and then it's the darkest at the corner. So now I'm going to shade this dark stripe right here. So I'm going to use heavy pressure at the corner. I'm pressing down pretty hard. Heavy pressure. I'm lightening up my pressure to medium pressure. And I'm going to try to fade it out a little bit. I'm going to leave a little gap in the middle, and then I'm going to come back with super light pressure, then back to medium pressure, and then heavy pressure on the edge. And you can see how it starts to look 3D. I think it really helps the 3D illusion if you erase like the outlines down what would be like the highlight. It's supposed to look kind of shiny. Like if you've ever seen a worm, they're actually kind of shiny. And so that makes it look a little bit shiny down the center of the tube when you have that white highlight down the middle. So now I'm back to a light stripe. So medium pressure, super light pressure, leave a white gap, super light pressure, and then medium pressure at the edge. And that's the idea. So you want to shade in all of your tubes. If you wanted to try Sharpie, it would be the same principle as when we did this. So I colored it black with Sharpie and then used a white color pencil to highlight it. So that would be an option for you as well, if you want to try that.